to play the game.
Today is July 8th, 2025. And folks, the distractions continue. We got a headline here where Elon Musk says he is forming a new political party after the fallout with Trump. Guys, weren't these guys friends just like a couple months back? Didn't they find millions and millions and billions of dollars of fraud in the Oval Office? They were publicly announced it. They were shaking hands. They were giving away cars. They were buying cars. And these guys were the best of friends. And all of a sudden, they're friends no longer. Elon goes on X and, calls Mr. Trump out, doesn't like his spending bill, says that he's part of that, that island scandal. And all of a sudden, retracts his statements, but then go further on and say, you know what? I don't like Republican Party. I don't like Democratic Party. I'm going to create another party, and it's for the people. Don't be distracted. Do not be distracted by any of this, okay? They are all on the same game. They're all playing the same chess game, okay? Let's read this article really quick. Billionaire Elon Musk said Saturday he's forming a third political party after a dramatic fallout with Donald Trump, indicating he will make good on threats he made if the president's domestic policy will become law. Basically, doesn't like what he's saying, and he's I'm going to create a new party, and I got the people's backs, and they're going to vote for me. Distraction. Other distraction. Trump media files for a crypto blue chip ETF with the SEC. Okay, we all know we got a pro-crypto administration. President Donald Trump continues to expand his crypto-related offerings, this time with a planned exchange-traded fund tied to the prices of 5 popular cryptocurrencies. The proposed ETF would have 70% of its holdings in Bitcoin, 15% in Ethereum, 8% in Solana. The fund will hold 5% of Ripple. Yes, we're saying Ripple there. And 2% of the crypto created by the exchange Crypto.com. Okay, so more distractions. Markets are up and down. They're volatile. They're either hearing, the fights on this side. They're hearing that Trump's pro-crypto on that side. There's uncertainty. There's instability. There's talks of tariffs. There's talks of, the whole game. It's all an illusion, people. It's why we named our channel the way we did, the Digital Asset Playbook, okay? Because these powerful people, okay, they're all in that, they all play by the same rule book, okay? And we have to have a playbook to counteract that rule book, okay? Their rules are unfair. It's created, it's made for them, and we have to figure out a way, just by keeping our awareness open, to not the distractions that they're giving us, but to everything else that's going around. But today's video, okay, what we want to talk about mostly is what would it mean if Ripple became a bank, okay? And we're going to dive into it, but first we're going to read this quick article over here, because this leads up to why Ripple wants to become a bank, okay? So was the Ripple lawsuit designed to keep XRP's price down? 9,000-hour XRP researcher speaks, okay? And they make a couple good points in this article here. A crypto expert by the name of Jesse from Apex Crypto Consulting recently discussed the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. After spending 9,000 hours, okay, he gives his input and his thoughts and said that the lawsuit might not be what it seems. We've been saying this for a long time. The XRP community has been saying this for a long time. There is nothing nefarious that Ripple was doing. It was just a basic lawsuit saying that, hey, you know what? You might have violated securities laws, okay? And these things normally don't take 4 years. It's unprecedented what's happened in this lawsuit, okay? According to Jesse, the legal battle between Ripple and the SEC is more likely a carefully planned show. He feels it's being used to control XRP's price and allow Ripple to quietly build strong partnerships around the world. I totally agree with this statement, okay? When Ripple got sued in 2020, they missed a major bull run shortly after that announcement, okay? Ripple just stayed stagnant. It did not move. All the other tokens bounced up and down. They did their things, and XRP was really, really hurt in this lawsuit. Again, though, why? You ask yourself why. Why this one company who was so transparent, who was wanting to work with everybody to get regulation, to work with the SEC, why would they be the ones that were sued? Jesse explained in his view that Ripple isn't just another ordinary company. It's closely connected to powerful global financial groups like the central banks and the IMF. In his opinion, Ripple's long-term goal is to make XRP a global reserve currency that can replace traditional payment systems like SWIFT. This isn't an ordinary company. This isn't. And maybe that's why the SEC went after them, okay? This company sits, okay, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of this company, and some others in the Ripple company have sat with some very, very powerful people. We've seen pictures all over the internet of pictures of him sitting in the IMF and the BIS and the WEF and anything else that ends in an F. This man has sat with central banks, countries around the world, leaders around the world. There is something about this company. And either, they say they're trying to put a dent in the world, or there's something under the table that we just don't know about, okay? Because this next statement is a very powerful one, right? He says he also pointed out that in history, leaders who tried to change the global money system, even slightly, faced major consequences. But Ripple continues to grow without anyone stopping them, which makes him believe they might be working alongside the biggest financial powers in the world. Folks, this is 100% true. Anytime anybody's ever gone against the US dollar, bad things happen. 3-letter agencies have gone out and have done horrible things to people who say, hey, you know what? We're not using the US dollar. We are doing this. We're not following this SWIFT system and these rules and all these things that you guys have created out in the West. We are not abiding by them. And every single time, bad things have happened to leaders, to powerful people around the world, okay? This system is not penetrable. And yet this little startup fintech company that started in the United States of America seems to have a foot in the door with all these people, okay? So if you were sued by the SEC, okay, and you don't want to violate laws anymore, okay? Because the gist of the SEC lawsuit was that yes, XRP in itself is not a security, but that Ripple selling to institutions in the manner that it did might have violated securities laws, okay? They cannot sell to institutions, okay? So what would you do? Well, you might want to consider being a bank, wouldn't you? Right? Because if you became a bank, you might be able to go around some of the rules and regulations. And I'll tell you what I mean in a second. Okay? There are clauses that you can put in there that state how you can give your XRP, okay, or I'm going to say how another institution can acquire XRP, okay? I don't want to say purchase, but acquire XRP, right? As long as it's not violating some of the laws, right? And those are basically some of the Howey laws. But look at this. Crypto firm Ripple is applying for a national bank charter in the United States. Its CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, wrote in a social media post on Wednesday following a similar move by stablecoin giant Circle. The move reflects a broader push by crypto firms for regulatory clarity and deeper integration within the traditional financial system. Okay, so lawsuits over. You've grew. Let me add that in, okay? Ripple has done nothing but keep growing in the business around the world. Yes, they were hindered in the US, but they grew, and their balance sheet grew, and everything that they did made this company bigger, faster, stronger, okay? So they get through the lawsuit, which many people thought they wouldn't have, okay? And then what's the next puzzle piece? Well, they apply to be a bank. Makes sense in my head, right? If you guys are not starting to see that everything happens in lockstep, okay, this is exactly how the game is played, right? Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse to testify before the Senate on crypto regulations. Okay, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse will testify before the Senate Banking Committee on crypto legislation. The hearing is led by Senator Tim Scott, Senator Loomis, Senator Rubin of the Digital Assets Subcommittee. Garlinghouse emphasized the need for clear U.S. crypto laws to drive innovation and ensure consumer protection. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse will testify before the U.S. Senate Banking Committee on July 9th. This will be during a high-profile hearing focused on shaping the future of the country's digital asset regulatory framework. This session is part of an ongoing effort by lawmakers to modernize market rules for crypto assets. Again, this one particular CEO of this one company is sitting in and amongst the Senate committee, the Senate Banking Committee. Okay, who is he? He's a nobody. For years and years and years, all we've ever heard is that Ripple's a nobody. Okay, you guys are dreaming. You're living in this fantasy world. They're not connected to anybody. Guess what? The government is going to listen to what this guy's got to say, okay? He's going to testify. He's going to give his input. He's going to showcase how this can be done because they have the answers. They have the answers, people. So remember, at a time where, the lawsuit's coming to an end, the Genius Act is going to be, fully passed and with full regulations, okay? Ripple becomes a bank, right? All of this is occurring at the exact same time. So we asked ChatGPT, what happens if Ripple becomes a bank? Folks, and this is what we're here for, okay? If Ripple were granted a banking license, it would be a major development, both for Ripple as a company and for XRP as a digital asset. Here's what it could mean in practical and strategic terms. Increased legitimacy. A banking license would grant Ripple the regulatory status of a financial institution, enabling it to hold deposits, offer payment services, and directly access central bank systems. This one fintech company, this nobody, this ordinary company supposedly is going to be directly able to access central bank systems. Folks, are you starting to see the big picture here? This would strengthen the legitimacy of Ripple in the eyes of regulators, banks, and financial partners, potentially improving trust in the XRP by association. Greater utility for XRP. And that is going to be where all of this finally comes together, folks. The money is not in the market caps. The money is in the utility. Okay? It's when utility finally hits this whole ecosystem, this whole digital asset system. It's in the utility phase is where it blows the roof off of buildings. Okay? Ripple often promotes XRP as a bridge currency for cross-border transaction via its product RippleNet on-demand liquidity. With a banking license, Ripple could settle cross-border payments more efficiently using XRP, directly custody and manage fiat currencies, reducing reliance on third-party banks, expand the use of XRP in regulated financial environments, especially in Europe and Asia, depending on the license. And this could increase demand for XRP as its real-world utility would grow. Number 3, regulatory clarity and confidence. Getting a banking license usually involves strict regulatory compliance, including AML, KYC, capital requirements, and operational transparency. Capital requirements. What did they also integrate into the XRP ecosystem? RLUSD, dollar for dollar banking, a stable coin that backs dollar for dollar. Okay, that is your capital requirements. This may indirectly suggest that XRP, while not necessarily classified as a currency, is seen as a compliant or at least acceptable within a regulated framework. It's compliant and it's acceptable. Okay? If Ripple can operate a bank while using XRP, it may calm concerns about XRP being classified as a security in some jurisdictions, which we all know pretty much that the SEC has lost that battle of XRP being a security. 4, strategic expansion. A licensed Ripple bank could offer services to crypto native and traditional finance clients, custodies, remittances, FX, foreign exchanges, tokenized assets, all potentially powered by XRP. Do we see the big picture here? Once these guys become a bank, it is limitless. The expansion over the products and offered, the services offered, would be huge. And all running and using the XRP ledger. This could position Ripple as a competitor to stablecoin issuers, fintechs, or even neobanks integrating blockchain, traditional finance more seamlessly. Impact on XRP price. Market reaction would likely be positive in the short term. I think that's an understatement. I think market reaction to all of this news all at once could blow the charts. Blow the charts right out. News of a banking license would be seen as a bullish signal, driving increased speculation and investment in XRP. Long-term appreciation would depend on how Ripple leverages the license and drive real XRP utility and adoption. Folks, the ETFs come, right? The Ripple gets its banking license. All the rules and the regulations are passed. The sky is the limit with this company. And might I add, a while back, there was a gentleman that worked for Ripple, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but he also said that he wasn't sure how it would happen, but Ripple could also be a lender of last resort. Remember that? Well, guess how that happens? That happens when you become a bank, because what do banks do? They lend out their products. Would that give them a way to not violate SEC securities? Maybe. I would say so. Folks, the media's never talked about one particular company. They've always been in the back, okay? In the back, behind the curtains. They never talked about XRP. It was always this fronting of this Bitcoin, Ethereum, okay? Whether that was nefarious or whatnot, they never talked about this one that was creating partnerships all around the world. But even that has changed. Because you would never see this a few years ago. Yahoo Finance, 4 cryptocurrencies that could be the next Bitcoin, okay? It's just about talking about a person whose opinion on what's going on. Again, you know, their Yahoo Finance is citing their words or regurgitating their words. At the top of the list is Ethereum, but look at number 2 right here. Ripple XRP, fast, scalable, and bank ready. Okay? Ripple, with its digital asset XRP, has emerged as a leading candidate for global adoption in cross-border payments. Right? Ripple speed, low cost, make it attractive for banks and financial institutions looking to move money efficiently worldwide. Over 300 institutions have already adopted Ripple's technology, highlighting its growing influence in the financial sector with its on-demand liquidity. Ripple could potentially replace SWIFT as the global leader in money transfers by enabling rapid cross-border payments without the need for pre-funded accounts. Folks, this is not financial advice. Take a look. Do your research. The time is now. Okay? We don't know where this goes or how this ends, but the gist of it is that the monetary system is changing. None of this makes mainstream news ever. You have to really dig for this stuff, and you have to think logically. Okay? There is a shift, and they give you distractions. They talk about countries fighting amongst each other. They talk about celebrities doing weird acts on other humans. They talk about political parties not in sync with each other. Okay, they give you all these distractions to keep you from understanding what's really, really happening. And basically, what this is all boiling down to is the financial system is changing. That's all I got for today, folks. Do your research, not financial advice. Take care. We'll see you next time.